Hello, hello, good evening, powerful women of abundance. Good evening, good evening. Always excited to connect with you all for Love and Light with Lou. I'm gonna give folks a few minutes to get into the room. Today we are talking about how we sabotage our progress. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Drop a comment or like or heart so I can know that you're here, so I can say hello. I can't see you or know you're on unless you announce yourself. I guess that's a good way to say it. But thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Hello, hello. So, hey Q, what's up, lady? I know we need to connect. So let me know, like, message me, DM me, let me know what when you're free. Hi. So today we are talking about the one thing that's very essential truth that we don't know about change. That is the change process. Sounds good. I'll hit you up at some point, either today or tomorrow, if that works for you. One essential thing we don't know about the change process that is sabotaging our progress, right? So very important, especially when we find ourselves in a place where we feel like we're setting goals and doing our best to work toward accomplishing those goals, and yet it just seems like no matter what we do, we can't get a break, right? And so it's very important for us to know this essential truth about change, so that we're not being so hard on ourselves when things are challenging, right? When we're faced with challenges after we set the intention to change, to grow, to evolve, right? So I'm going to give folks a minute or so to get into the room. Always a pleasure to connect with you all on Wednesday for Love and Light with Lou. I am your host, Lou, or D. Jean-Francois, licensed clinician, women's empowerment coach, and wellness consultant with Abundant Consulting, LLC. I support courageous, powerful women with mastering their emotions and their minds, so they can intentionally create the lives that they desire and they deserve. It's always a pleasure for me to connect with you all, to share this space with you all every Wednesday, and I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. So before moving forward, let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, give me 1 second. I think we're good. Okay. All right. So hopefully you all have done something this week to take care of yourselves. If you have not done so, please make you a priority. Okay. Put you on your list. I did some self-care today. I went to the dentist and got my teeth cleaned, which I'm really excited about because I ain't had no cavities. You know what I'm saying? I do my best to take good care of my teeth, but sometimes, especially at night when I'm tired, I don't feel like brushing, so sometimes I'm not really on it like that. Going to the dentist today and learning that I didn't have any cavities, that was a win for me. So it was a win and it was self-care. So I'm really excited about that. Hello, thank you for joining. Today we are talking about how not knowing this essential truth about the change process is sabotaging your progress, right? Because we need to know, right? We need to know. All right, so let's get into it. Thank you for joining. Drop a heart. Let me know that you're here. I want to acknowledge you. Always so good to connect with you all for Love and Light with Lou. Just sharing the space has really just been so rewarding for me, and every time I see you all join, it's affirmation, confirmation that I'm on my path, right? So I appreciate you all being that reflection for me by joining. Okay, so what is it that we need to know about change, right? So that we can stop sabotaging our progress, right? So I am an avid reader. okay? And even saying that sounds kind of weird because that was not always the case, right? There once was a time where I read because I had to, right? I had to read because I was in school, right? From elementary to middle to high school. And then I had to read a lot when I was in college and graduate school, right? So it was something I had to do, not really something that I wanted to do, right? So somewhere along the way, I got this desire to read more, right? And what really sealed the deal for me was reading Jim Quick's book, Limitless. And he says in that book that people who read, right, people who read the most tend to be pretty wealthy, right? Tend to make some good money, right? And that was all I needed. I was sold. I was sold after reading that. So I am an avid reader. It was something that it took me a while to get here. There was definitely some resistance, right, because of the associations I made with reading based on my past experiences, right? Feeling like it was something that I was forced to do instead of something that I really wanted to do, right? So whether I'm reading or listening to a book, once I finish one, I'm picking up another one, right? And it's so exciting to me because what I've realized is I have this immense value I really value knowledge, right? I really value knowledge because the more we read, the more we expand our thinking, our minds, right? And the more we're able to create, right, as a result of reading and acquiring, more information and things of that nature, right? Hello, thank you for joining. So with that being said, one of the books I finished recently was The 5 a.m. Club by, I believe it's Robin Sharma, right? Robin Sharma. And I'm sorry if y'all hear my dog barking in the background. I took him out and everything, thought they was going to be quiet, but hopefully she settles down. That's Brooke being loud. But anyway, Robin Sharma, right? And so he wrote the book, The 5 a.m. Club. If you've heard about it, you heard anybody even mention it, I suggest you pick it up. He dropped some serious gems in there, right? And so one of the key big takeaways for me was his explanation of the change process, like habit installation process, like what it really takes to change an ineffective habit, right? And to create an effective habit, right? I don't like to call habits good or bad because, essentially, it really just depends on whether the habit is working for you or not working for you, depending on what your goals are, right? So I like to use the term ineffective or effective, and that comes out of Atomic Habits by James Clear, another really good book about building habits, right? So Robin Sharma, he shares this 3-phase process to change, right? To installing new habits, right? And so here are the 3 phases, and we're going to focus on the first one, but I'm going to share all 3 with you today, right? So whenever we set the intention to make a change, right? Whenever we decide to change an ineffective habit, to accomplish, goals, right? To step outside of our comfort zone, right? We follow this 3-step process, right? So the first step is the destruction step, right? The first stage essentially is the destruction stage, right? And so at this stage, you set the intention to destroy those ineffective habits, right? So basically, you going to war, right? You are going to war with those old ineffective habits, right? And that's a very challenging time, right? Because essentially what's happening is your old self is holding on for dear life, right? While your new self is trying to come onto the scene, right? Right? So that is the destruction phase. And then you have the installation stage, right? And in this stage, the new habits take root, right? So you're starting to work on those new habits, right? Which can be shaky at first because they're new habits, right? They have not become automatic habits yet, right? So this can be a shaky stage, but in this stage, this installation stage, you're embedding those new habits, right? And then the integration stage, that's the final stage. This is where those new habits are firmly rooted in place, right? And so with time, the new habit comes up automatically right? Just as a matter or a course of default, right? A matter of default, because you've been doing, you've installed the habit, right? And after the installation phase, now it's integrated, right, into your automatic behaviors, right? So for example, when you make a decision to start working out, right? The destruction phase, right, might look like you struggling with yourself to get out of bed first thing in the morning, right? Because I work out, I'm more successful at working out when I do it first thing in the morning, and I have a busy day, right? So that means I gotta wake up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm trying to get to 5 o'clock, working on it, bear with me, right? But I have to get up early in order to do that. And oftentimes there's this internal battle like, you could sleep for a couple of more minutes, just 15, 20 minutes, right? You can sleep for a little while longer. Hit that snooze button, right? Not knowing that as soon as we hit that snooze button, we start a whole new sleep cycle, right? Which makes it harder for us to get up, right? That's a little tidbit, right? Makes it harder for us to get up. But nonetheless, right? So I have this internal, battle getting up earlier because the old me wants to stay in my bed. It's cozy, it's comfortable, right? I want to stay there, but the new me is like, come on, girl, this me that I'm becoming is like, come on, let's get up, let's get going, right? So that's that destruction phase. It feels like you're at war again with that old self, right? As you're becoming this newer version of you, right? And so the reason why it's important to know this, right? The reason why it's important to know that this destruction phase is part of the change process is because when we're faced with these challenges, right? Challenging situations. Change itself is a challenging situation because it's challenging you to grow, right? To step outside of your comfort zone. Along with that comes challenging, unpleasant emotions like fear, right? Anxiety, frustration, because things don't seem to be working the way you think they should be working, right? This is all part of the territory. Unpleasant thoughts as well, right? So I can't do this, right? This is never gonna work, right? These are the things that our minds tell us when we set the intention to change, right? And so it's important to know that, because what we sometimes do, we make the mistake of interpreting these challenges as an indication that we're not making progress, right? That we're not making progress, when the truth is that's far from the truth, right? When you're going through that destruction phase, that essentially means that you are squaring up, right? That you that you're becoming, that you that you desire to be, is squaring up with that you that no longer serves you, right? Those aspects of you that, hello, thank you, Danny. Those aspects of you, thank you for joining, those aspects of you that no longer serve you, right? So it's so important for you to know that this destruction phase is the first phase of that, the first stage of that change process. So instead of getting stuck, right, when those overwhelming, unpleasant feelings come up, or those unpleasant thoughts come up, or challenges present themselves to test you, right, to test you to grow outside of your comfort zone, right? Don't get discouraged when that happens. Actually, you be empowered. Be empowered in knowing that these things are coming up because you are shaking things up, right? These things are coming up because you've decided that you want to grow, right? And energetically, spiritually, what's happening is you're transcending beyond your current level of consciousness, right? You are evolving, right? Right? And so that's not a simple process. That comes with its growing pains. It comes with its challenges, right? It comes with aspects of grief and loss, right? All of these things are par for the course, right? So be not dismayed, okay? When you find yourself feeling challenged, right? And when it seems like, in a nutshell, that all hell's breaking loose, right? When you set the intention to change, right? The destruction phase, the destruction stage is a natural stage, a natural part of the change process, okay? All right, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it means you're doing something right. It doesn't mean that this isn't gonna work or you can't do this, right? It just means that you have set the intention to grow, right? And as a result of setting that intention, old habits have to die, right? Old habits have to die. And what that can look like is that ego, self, right? Holding on because change is scary, right? To it, holding on to those old habits and that internal struggle, in essence, ensuing because you've set the intention to grow, to become, to evolve, right? Right? So don't allow the mind to convince you that this can't happen, this won't work, you can't do this, right? Wow, so good. Danny says, wow, so good. Shaking things up as we grow. Absolutely. That's exactly what's happening, right? So we want to be aware of this destruction phase, right? And don't allow ourselves to be convinced that this shakeup is happening as to indicate that we're not on track, right? To indicate that we're not making progress. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It means that you're challenging yourself, right? You're challenging yourself to grow. And with that comes a set of challenges, right? With that just comes a set of challenges, challenging situations, challenging thoughts, and challenging emotions, right? But I promise you, it is all part of the process, okay? All right, so just to recap, right, what is the one thing that you need to know, right, so you can stop sabotaging your progress? You must know that when you set the intention to change, right, the destruction stage looks like all hell is breaking loose, okay? That's when you know, right? You are really shaking things up, okay? So welcome that experience, right? And see it as an indication that you are in fact moving toward becoming the greater version of you, okay? I hope this is helpful. Oh, hey, Grishelle, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this is helpful. Okay, don't believe the hype. Okay, don't allow, the fact that you're facing challenges. Don't interpret that to mean that you should give up or there's no point, right? Accept this as part of the change process. Welcome the destruction, right? Welcome the destruction. Embrace the destruction, because that is an indication that you are on to something big, okay? All right? You are on to something big. Okay? All right, always a pleasure to connect with you all. If you have not seen already on my feed, we've been posting about it all week long. My masterclass, The Secret to Making the Shift from Surviving to Thriving. We are on for July 16th. That's Saturday, July 16th from 12 to 2. All right, we are talking about what it looks like to be in survival mode in our relationships, career and finances, overall health and well-being. What are the ways in which we're unknowingly giving our power away? And I'm sharing my 4-step process for making the shift from surviving to thriving so you can own your power and win. All right, so registration is open. The link is in my bio. I'll also put the link in the comments to this video. This is my personal invitation to have you join me for Saturday, all right? For Saturday's masterclass, July 16th, The Secret to Making the Shift from Surviving to Thriving, all right? Until then, powerful women, it is always a pleasure to connect with you every Wednesday at 7:45 for Love and Light with Lou, okay? Welcome the destruction, all right? Welcome the destruction. And if you like specialized support with navigating and mastering your emotions and your mind, right? As you move toward the greater version of you, right? You know how to reach me. You can send me a message on whichever platform you're viewing this video on. You can also connect with me on my website, www.abundantconsulting.org. All right, until we meet again, powerful woman, to your success. You be well. Peace.